Hey YouTube, it's Paul and Pat Paul Jason with Life with Paul here for another video. Paul wants to go play, but I'm being mean to him and made him sit here for the camera. I know it's such a hard life. All right, Paul, free. Video I want to do this, today is I want to touch on the last video a little bit. The last video was on discipline, what the true things discipline really is. And what I want to touch on this week is one in particular, and that is discipline is freedom. You can't have one without the other. You cannot have freedom without discipline. Now, for instance, Paul, you see him in all these videos where he doesn't have a leash on him. He runs around our yard and he has free roam within our fences, but there are limitations to that. But that being said, he had to go through training to learn what it is he's allowed to do and what he's not allowed to do before he could reach to that stage. Without discipline and without him demonstrating he has self-discipline, he cannot be in the yard without a leash, especially being a guardian breed dog like he is, especially being the size he is. Our neighbors appreciate that greatly. A little disclaimer is I'm not a vet. I'm not an animal behaviorist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm nothing like that. I'm just a guy who loves this dog and knew what I was looking for in a dog and wanted to achieve. And I educated myself accordingly. I love my dog, and I only want what is best for him. There's things I expect out of him, but that does not take away the fact that all I want is for him to be happy, healthy, and safe. That's it. Well, without discipline, he's not going to be any of those things. When he was a puppy, he had to be on a leash at all times. The reason he had to be on a leash is because he had no discipline. He did not know the rules. He had not been shown all the rules yet, so he did not know what he could and he could not do. So he had no discipline. So it was not safe for him to be off leash for me, for other people, and especially for himself. Because he would get into things that were dangerous for him that he had no idea were dangerous for him. I mean, he was a puppy. Puppies are mischievous, they're curious, they stick everything in their mouths, they're like a baby. And so those things can be very, very dangerous for him. Stay. Somebody's driving by real slow. So he's watching. Good boy. He's got his little Nerf ball today and he's laying right beside the camera. But he's watching. Paul. Focus on me, not the bee. Free. Paul. Free. Good boy. But the number one thing, this is a must. If you're going to have a dog off leash in any capacity at all, the number one requirement is your recall must be on point 100%. That is not optional. If something happens, if a dog comes through that gate right now and Paul's off leash, I must be able to get him back to me without a leash. That is a must. It has to. So Paul even though he may get up and start to take off to go after that dog, if I holler his name, he stops dead in his tracks. And then if I hit this vibrate button, he comes right back to me. His recall is on point, that good. And it has to be if you're off leash, because this is the only thing between you and your dog's safety. So before he can have that freedom to just roam and do whatever he wants to do, whatever, and usually it's always chasing a ball, or he likes to just lay in the shade and look around at everything because he's pretending he's a guard dog, and he is. But discipline equals that freedom. Without that discipline, that freedom is not possible. If you want to break it down into human terms, discipline does equal freedom. You don't believe me? Ask every man that's in prison right now. Because they lived a life breaking rules with no discipline, and now what do they not have? Freedom. You have to have a degree of discipline to conduct yourself. Paul, stop eating grass. Paul, you are not a cow. No, you are not a cow. You have to have some form and some degree of discipline to conduct yourself without somebody constantly watching over you, and conduct yourself properly in society. If you don't, you lose that freedom. You cannot be trusted to roam freely without guardianship or leadership over you, and be trusted to not necessarily obey, but to follow society's normal rules. Dogs are the same way. It's they have to show and something biting me. They have to show and display a degree of obedience. Obedience is learned through discipline. So they have to show and display that and prove that before they are allowed the freedom to roam. Some dogs never reach that. Is it the dog's fault? No, it's not. It's the dog owner's fault. I'm not casting down on you. I'm not saying nothing like that. I'm not talking bad about you. That is reality. A dog only reacts to what they are taught. If they don't display a behavior that you want, it's because you didn't teach them the behavior that you do want. I spent a lot of hours with Paul. A lot of hours. We trained hard when he was a real little puppy. And the reason we did is because it was easier then than what it would be now. Now it would be harder because the few bad habits he does have, they are exactly that. They are habits. So now not only do you have to teach the new behavior, but you have to break the old habit at the same time. It makes it twice as hard. So do it when they're puppies. It's easier. Can they be taught when they're older? Yes, they can. Any dog, as long as they have a brain and they want to please you in some capacity or another, are trainable. They can learn. It's just harder to do when they're older. That being said, it's not impossible. Paul is, he's got a set of things he's trained to do. And they're not difficult things. You know, they're most of them are they're normal everyday things. They're sit, place, stay, down, no bite, drop it, leave it, the normal obedience stuff. There's stuff that you can train a puppy in beginner obedience classes. But they were the stepping stones. They were the foundation for his freedom later, because without those, he could not be trusted to be off leash. He could not be trusted to be a service dog. He could not be trusted to be in public. Paul, a couple weekends ago, three, I don't remember. We went to a restaurant and had lunch with a friend. And we sat down at our table. And I'm sat at the edge of the table, and beside me, I just pull the other chair out and away, and I lay Paul on the floor right there. I just put him in place, and he stays there. Well, the waitress had come back, probably 4 or 5 times. And Paul has this habit, after a certain amount of time goes by, he will kind of sit up, because I have his treat pouch on my waist, and he wants a treat. He says, okay, I've been good long enough, I want a treat. And when he sat up, it scared the crap out of the waitress, because she did not even know he was there. And she even said that. She goes, oh my God, I didn't even know he was there. You know what that meant? That meant he was doing his job correctly. That's how it should be. That's what he's trained for. And it is through his discipline, his self-discipline, because all I did was sit up, put him in place, and sit down. And that was it. He just laid there. That's what he's trained to do. He's trained to lay there and do nothing and stay out of the way and don't bother people. And if my sugar drops to a certain level, to alert me. That's what he's trained to do. But without his obedience, that would not be possible. He would not contain himself. He'd be trying to get food. He'd be trying to get loves and pets from other people. He doesn't do that unless I let him. Then he gets too excited, but that's another story. But he doesn't go and mess with people in stores or in restaurants or anywhere. He leaves people alone, because that's what he's trained to do, and that's what his service dog is supposed to do. If a service dog is begging up on people when they're in public, they need more training, because that's not what a service dog is supposed to be doing. But without discipline, that's not possible. Without his self-discipline, he would not have the freedoms he has. He would not be able to roam our yard without a leash on. He would not be able to go in public and go into stores and go everywhere with me. Wherever I go, he goes. The only places he has not been where I go is on a motorcycle ride, when I used to be able to ride, because he's a little big to be on the back of a motorcycle. That would be funny to see, but no, he's a little bit big for the back of my bike. But those days are over. I can't ride anymore because I can't see. So those days are over. So everywhere I am, he is. I never go anywhere without him. The only place I do go without him, he's chasing a bee. Paul, come. Paul, come. Yeah, you had to stop and get your ball. I see. You had to stop and get your ball. Hey, Paul. Focus. Focus. Paul. Good boy. Free. Paul is a good boy. And I don't take anything for granted, because I say that I cannot say that he 100% all the time always follows my every command. He's a dog. He doesn't do that. They have their good days and bad days just like people. But for the most part, almost always, he will listen to whatever I tell him to do. And he'll do what I say. And he won't question it. Even when you can tell he doesn't want to. But that's why the title of this video is Discipline Equals Freedom. You cannot have one without the other. Because like when my kids were real little, I was really strict. I was a real strict parent. When they became teenagers, I was the parent who was able to let my teenagers roam. Why? Because of the discipline I instilled in them when they were little. Were they perfect kids? No, not at all. They were kids. They were teenagers. But I constantly got compliments on my kids, saying how well behaved they were and how respectful they were. And it's because when they were little, discipline was a way of life. Was I too strict? Looking back now, I think so. But being strict and instilling that discipline in them, I didn't have to be hovering over their shoulder 24/7 when they became teenagers, because they were well behaved and they had self-discipline because they knew there were consequences if they did something wrong. Paul knows if he does something wrong, if he does what I do not like him to do, he knows what they are. He knows there's consequences. Do I beat my dog? No. If he has a leash on, he knows he'll get a tug on the leash. If he doesn't have a leash on, he'll get a vibrate from this. It's not a big discipline, but for him, that equals discipline. And if he keeps on, because I've done it a few times, we'll break the leash back out and put the leash back on him. He does not like roaming the yard in the leash. He likes his freedom. We go potty out in the front yard twice a day, in the morning and the evening. He does not like to go on a leash anymore. He will if we're in public somewhere, but at home, he does not like to go on the leash. He wants to be off leash. Well, he knows that if he pushes things too far, I'll put him back on a leash. And he doesn't like it. He likes his freedom. So that is a deterrent as well. That is a form of discipline too. If you can't be trusted with the freedoms you have, you lose some of the freedom. That is a form of discipline. I've lost that form of freedom in my past. Why? Because I couldn't be trusted to walk around freely because I didn't have the self-discipline that it required to do that. That's the truth. I wasn't the worst person in the world, but I wasn't always an angel either. Enough said about that. One day we'll cover that story. So I don't know, you tell me, YouTube, what's it like with your dog? Does your dog have the freedom that it's earned through discipline? Are you just now getting a puppy? If you're just now getting a puppy, train them properly. Use discipline to help them acquire freedom through that discipline. But most of all, don't turn them loose unless they are self-disciplined and their recall is 100% on point. Don't. It is detrimental to your dog, and it could be to you too. You must be able to get them back to you before they get themselves in danger. So I don't know. Tell me what you think. That's my rambling. And hey, Paul, where are you going? He has to go look at the neighbors. He's been laying here too long. He's got to go look, make sure nothing's going on in the neighbor's yard. life with a Connie Corso, I'll tell you. But let us know. Let us know what your situation with your dog is like. What does your life with a dog look like? I mean, I'm filming life with Paul. You get to see it. We don't do much editing on this channel. We edit, basically we clip the beginning and the end of the video, and that's it. Through the middle of the video, I don't do any editing. You get what you get. If Paul acts up, you get it. You get to see it. So with that, give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave it in the comments if you agree with anything I said. Leave it in the comments if you disagree. I can take it. Let us know if you do something different. Put it in the comments. Share with other people, other dog owners. They can learn from your experiences as well as mine. I just want what's best for your dog the same as I want what's best for mine. Yes, I'm a dog person. Sometimes I like dogs better than people. If you have a dog, I know you can relate. So anyway, give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Share it with somebody who needs to hear it. Ding, ding, ring, ring. Most of the people watching the videos are not subscribers, so subscribe. So until next time, watch for the life lessons, learn from the lessons, and be the best version of you the world has ever seen. And tell your dog me and Paul said hi. Are you coming to say hi or bye? No. Okay, bye YouTube.